It's red. It's fast. It looks like one. It sounds like one. And it has the cavallino. It must be a real Ferrari then, right?
Ciao ragazzi, it's a Speedy Guidy, and I'm here to find that out whilst wearing my fanboy Ferrari Pumas. And if you don't like that, then you can just... Many people have said, including myself, that the California is a wishy-washy Ferrari model. Seeing as the Portofino is the successor to that, is it truly a real Ferrari, or is it just a marketing ploy to sell more cars? First, let's start with the looks, because this is undoubtedly a Ferrari. It has the classic front smiling fascia. To me, I think it's a really good looking car in the front, to tell you the honest truth. One thing that many people don't know about Ferrari is that they achieve insanely good aerodynamics and really low drag coefficients without the use of any spoilers. So you have a duct right here, you got some ducts under here, you got ducts everywhere. Now the front is amazing, but unfortunately in the back is where it starts to crumble a bit. I mean, it's just a little messy back here. This car would look really, really good if it had the rear of the California, but the front of the Portofino. That's just like the package you want. Just mash both those together. And another thing that I don't like are these lights are too exposed right here. Metal should go around them a little more. So instead, this whole light's exposed, and it just kind of looks weird from the side angles. Hard back is pretty weird too. I'm not a huge fan. Now that that's out of the way, let's get onto the engine. It's a 3.9 liter twin turbocharged V8 making 600 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. And as you can see, most of the weight is behind the front axle, so it's actually a front mid-engined car, which you don't really get in a lot of things. So the handling is a lot more balanced and the weight is way more towards the center, so that is awesome.
Alrighty, now onto the part you've all been waiting for.
So what does the power feel like? Well, I can tell you right now, guys, this thing moves. This thing is so fast. And it does it effortlessly. There's really no turbo lag whatsoever. And I don't know if you know this, but Ferrari turbo engines are something of a masterpiece because they just work so well. They feel like naturally aspirated engines. It's incredible. Well, I'm happy to report that the gearbox is absolutely lightning, guys. It is so fast. It's seriously up there with all the Porsches. Like I used to think Ferrari had the best in the biz, but then you drive some Porsches, you're like, okay, these are really fast. But this Portofino is seriously quick, bang. The downshifts are maybe not that fast, but upshifts are so quick. It's like bang, 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 like faster than you can blink your eye. It's insane. And the brakes are great. A great initial bite. Very confidence inspiring, I must say. You can barrel into turns and just stomp on the brakes and it'll do it. And that's exactly what you want from a car that's this heavy. So what about the noise? When buying a Ferrari, noise is a huge component of that. And I must say, the noise is nice. It's kind of loud, but it could be better. The turbocharging makes it a little muffled. It's not ideal, and the valves open up are right about 3,000. But if you're below that, nothing. And if you're on the freeway at about, you can go in 7th gear and it's quiet. Listen, you can't even hear the engine right now, nothing. And I have a problem with that because when buying a Ferrari and driving a Ferrari, you want it to be really loud and insane, and you want people to hear you in a certain way. Like you're driving a big red Ferrari, who are you trying to fool? And this thing just doesn't really shout like you want it to, and it's kind of, I don't know, maybe you get a muffler delete, maybe you get a new exhaust system for the thing if you bought one, but it could be better.
And now, time for an interior intermission.
All right, guys, so here we are in the interior. First thing that sticks out to you is how nice all the leather is. Like everything is just so well put together. It's exactly what you think you'd get from a $250,000 car. Now, with that said, this thing is not what you expect from a $250,000 car. It's super laggy. I cannot figure out how to get to my iPhone, and nothing really works that well. The climate controls are kind of some of the buttons are kind of wobbly, not ideal. But all that matters is the driving position, which is spot on. All the controls are right where you want them. Just flip it into sport, comfort, really easy. And Ferrari paddle shifters are the best in the game. They just feel amazing. You just want to shift just to shift for no reason. I'm gonna just do it right now. And if this isn't the most Italian thing you've ever seen, then you haven't seen very many Italian things. But the Ferrari key has a little pouch right here. It sticks in right there. Nice and snug. So how does it steer? Everyone wants to know that. Mid-corner, not very confidence inspiring, guys. It's one of those feelings that the car feels top heavy. It seriously feels like it's gonna go flying at any moment, and that's not what you want from a driver's car, let alone a Ferrari. You want something that you can just push into a corner as fast as you want, and it'll take it. And this just doesn't really have that. Like, I'm scared going into corners, and it feels heavy. It feels heavy and it feels tall, and I know it's a GT car, but I don't know. I think this car would seriously benefit from being lowered and the wheels being spaced out like about a couple millimeters. It would seriously help its stance, and it would seriously help its grip. But otherwise, through the turns, it's don't take this on track. Do yourself a favor, just drive it on the road. All right, we're coming up to a tunnel, guys, and this is what Ferraris were born for. They were born for tunnel runs. Excelsior!
That's the face of one happy Guidy.
So I went to speed that I am not allowed to tell you over camera, because this will be posted on the internet, but it is very fast. And I know that's a terrible thing to say about fast cars, about sports cars. Of course they're very fast, it's a Ferrari, but this is significantly quicker than a California T, like otherworldly. Well, guys, above all, the best part about this car is what it was built to do, and that is drop the top, get in a high gear, and just chill. Look at the ocean and just cruise, baby, because that is what this car is made for. It's a GT car, Grand Touring. It is meant to just waft along, be comfy, look like a cool guy, and, you know, maybe do some tunnel runs here and there. To tell you the truth, it's not a canyon carver, it's not a track monster. It's just made to just do this kind of stuff and just hang out. Think what you want about my opinion, guys, but let's see what my little brother thinks.
Without a doubt, one of the best cars I've driven yet. The one problem I have, though, is the electronics and the interface of the car. Earlier today, me and my brother were trying to get the Bluetooth to work, and it is just a hassle, man. Everything about it. You try, you sit there, it says car, Bluetooth will not work unless the car stops. We stop the car, still doesn't show up. It's a lot to handle, and it would be better if Ferrari came out with the interface that's more user-friendly, like Audi per se, who has the dial where you can surf the interface of the car fairly easily compared to this. But other than that, it's a pretty swag car.
So this car is named after a little tiny port in Italy called Portofino. I don't know if you guys have been there. I'm not a huge fan of the city because you hang around for an hour, you drink some wine, you have some spaghetti alle vongole, and then you're sick of it. It's like, all right, I've had my fun, like I saw it, I came, I went. And this car is kind of the automotive equivalent of that. So the name's spot on, but it's one of those cars I could just take it or I could leave it. Like, I don't yearn driving it more often. Like, I get out of the car and it's not one of those cars I lock it and I look back and like, wow, that's an amazing car. It's not a car I want to wake up and go on a drive in the morning, and it's kind of disappointing. So admittedly, the Portofino is made for an older demographic. Maybe a mom, someone who wants to look nice and go fast, but not necessarily carve up canyons. It's not for me, someone who's really good looking and humble and awesome and wants to drive really fast all the time. It's generally for those older people who just don't really care and just, screw it, I want a Ferrari and I want it to sound nice and look at me. There's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, if you're someone like me and you're a driver, you might be better off getting a 488 Spider. Or hell, even get a Huracan Performante Spider, because that has a naturally aspirated V10. That's where my money would go if I bought a convertible. But as for this, the Portofino does what it's meant to do, but it's just not meant for me, unfortunately. So Ferrari, you did a great job. Benissimo lavoro, but it's not my car.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Grazie.